Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to an episode of my F1 2019 mod career mode here with Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari for round number 7 at the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal. If you guys did miss the previous one, round number 6 at the Monaco GP, then be sure to go check the one out before you see this one uploaded just about a week ago or so, and that was a very interesting episode to say the least in terms of results there. I don't think Canada is going to chuck such a wacky podium as was the case in Monaco, and that happens a lot already in the game, depending on the strategies, and I think the strategies are very much going to be very similar for most people around Canada here. But in terms of us going into this episode with the championship, feeling pretty comfortable. We've got a bit of a nice cushion to Sebastian Vettel, our teammate, and Lewis Hamilton, the main rival we've had so far in this season. And Bottas, though, interestingly enough, is coming back into it a little bit. He's been a bit more consistent as of late, so we'll see how it goes. But we go straight into qualifying then with this one-shot quali. Of course, if you're new around here, we do one-shot qualifying in this series because that's the way the 2019 mod works on the 2018 game. It's the best way to get the performance levels and get all the mods working the same way. And unlike Monaco, feeling pretty good in this first sector here. You can see P1, Gasly though looking good, and we go a little bit wide there, or not little, very wide actually in that turn. And so we lost a lot of time. We're down to P6, and so through the last chicane, gaining some time on entry and exit up into P5, and maybe just on the line we can peek through to one more position across it. We do get up into P4 just before we cross the line, but a bit of a disappointing qualifying to be fair, because in the first sector I felt I had the pace, then made a mistake that dropped me down the order, and then I didn't gain it back in the second sector or the third sector really until that last chicane there. So the grid looks like this then after that qualifying session. It's a front row lockout for Mercedes, then Hamilton on pole, Valtteri Bottas second place, my teammate Vettel in third, ourselves in P4 ahead of the two Red Bulls on the third row. Then you got Carlos Sainz in P7, Raikkonen in P8, Magnussen and Hulkenberg round out the top 10. Then Grosjean and Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo down in P13 alongside Giovinazzi, then Lando Norris and Lance Stroll share a grid. Then it's an all row of the Toro Rosso Hondas of Danke Fiat and Alexander Albon. And then on the last row, surprise, surprise, the Williams cars of Robert Kubica and George Russell ahead of this Canadian Grand Prix. So Mercedes seem to have a bit of an advantage here on us at Canada, which is surprising because I think this car has some decent straight line speed, but I think that might mean in the race we could move forward here from the second row with myself and Vettel here on the second row. Strategy-wise, will be a two-stop. Like I said, compared to Monaco, most people will be running that strategy, so there's going to be no kind of funny business like there was last episode, and really it's just about if we can move forward and kind of try and take the fight to the Mercs. Obviously, they're the ones on the back foot, though, in the championship, so they're the ones that are going to be very happy with that front row lockout here, but hopefully we can have a good race and move forward and not kind of just get locked into this kind of Noah's Ark position of 2x2x2 of the top 3 cars there. So let's get into this then as we go to 5 red lights. For round number 7 of this season, the Canadian Grand Prix here at Montreal from 4th place on the grid. 5 red lights are going to be out and we're underway eventually there, and it's a great start for our teammate Vettel. A bog down for the pole man Hamilton, and Bottas already sailing up into the lead. Side by side Mercedes go. We narrowly miss rear-ending Vettel there into turn 1. Double lock up and pretty much a pixel probably separating the front wing and his rear end there, and even a warning for collision with Sebastian Vettel. So already getting it very, very close and frosty there with Vettel. But at the moment, it's only a swap for the Mercedes guys, but it's all the same then. Vettel third place, myself fourth, Verstappen behind us, pressurizing us a little bit. And again, we go wide of that same corner I went wide at in qualifying. That's going to cause me issues, it seems like. I don't think my Ferrari has the front end for that corner, it seems, at least in my car and the setup I've got going on here. So I'm going to have to try and sort that and try and kind of get in a rhythm in that corner, because otherwise I'm just going to keep losing time every single lap. We move on to the end of lap 3 at the moment. The Mercs are getting away from us a little bit. I'm keeping up with Vettel just about there, but definitely the Ferrari doesn't have enough downforce, I don't think, just about to navigate these corners as fast as we kind of hoped we would be able to this round, as the Mercs do get away. But they are fighting, and Hamilton's keeping the pressure on Bottas. So the hope is that these guys fight enough that maybe they back themselves up into us, and that might just happen here as we move on to the end of lap 4. And you can see, visually speaking, Hamilton is a little bit closer to Vettel there as we enter the next lap, lap 5, gone green personal best time, and we are bunching up somewhat. And here we go now onto the next lap. Hamilton has a look on the outside. Bottas defends very much so into the chicane and slows them both down there, and Vettel now is right up their gearbox. Could he make a move into turn 1? Let's see. No, it's going to be Hamilton with the darting move to the outside. Bottas defends the inside line to turn 1. They're still side by side. That's going to really slow them down, and Vettel's just going to sit back there and watch that fight as they're still neck and neck into this next chicane. That's that's going to be a tough one for Bottas to kind of go around the outside, I think, and that's going to be, yep, Hamilton up into first place. Always tricky to be the car on the left-hand side there as you go down that hill and crest in that chicane, but Bottas is going to come back at Hamilton with DRS on the very next lap, and it's a huge dive for Bottas there. Very aggressive late move there, and it means a big lunge and a big blockade traffic jam there in the chicane, and we're now up into P2, P1 maybe. It's going to be 3 overtakes in one straight into turn 1. It's 3 wide, and Hamilton's going to push Bottas straight onto the grass, and he's made contact with us now on the front left, and he's managed to barge his way through very forcefully up into P1. Bottas fighting now P2. We're down to P3. I don't know what that's going on. It's all kicking off here on lap number 7, and so now we have to settle down, watch this fight, but Bottas going to squeeze Hamilton out enough where we can maybe have some space to work around the outside, and the corner where I've had bad luck so far in this Grand Prix and qualifying, I managed to make a very tasty move on the outside of Hamilton up into P2. Bottas now leads the Grand Prix, but that was a very fiery end of the lap number 6 that was at the chicane there. What did I say? The two Mercs holding each other up so much so that I just got a nice undercut line on all 3 of them. Nearly made it work if it wasn't for that very aggressive move in turn 1 by Hamilton to push Bottas on the grass and then on to get the elbows out and tap me on the rear end there. So I'm surprised if he didn't get a warning for collision there, but now he's actually coming back at us. He's squeezed us onto the grass, and so it seems like a second time now Hamilton's done that, so he seems to be loving the over-aggressive move so far at Montreal, but we're going to make a move to try and get this place back on the outside. It's going to be a little bit unorthodox there. We give him the room. We go very slow indeed, both of us there. That's going to back us up into Vettel and onto the Red Bull pair of Verstappen and Gasly, and still, you can see there, the Merc does have some decent straight line speed compared to us Ferrari cars, because Hamilton's able to keep it in. He's on the inside. We're going to have to try and go the long way round, and the place where he tapped us and was able to keep us at bay, this time we get good traction. We're not flustered, and we should be able to get this on the outside. It's very tricky to make the move, like I said, on this part of the circuit, but we make it stick as Hamilton nearly puts it in the wall, and so we do get up into P2, and now it's just a case of trying to get away from him, but I say that, he's right back on us literally on the next lap there, and again, Vettel is lurking as well as the Red Bull and also the McLaren there, Carlos Sainz it would seem like, but we're going to make a move now to the inside, but who's going to come into the pits? It's going to be both of us actually, and so this is going to be very awkward. What's going to happen here? Oh, okay, the game thankfully ghosts us both, but that could have been a horrific pit lane entry crash there. Both of us playing chicken with one another, and both of us not backing down. We both come into the pit lane then. Obviously, Vettel continued on, so if I had not come in, I probably would have screwed over Vettel in the pit stop. So I'm kind of glad I came in, and I'm very glad the game ghosted us, because then we're able to stay ahead of Hamilton then in P13. What is it right now, as we come out just behind the Alfa Romeo of Raikkonen then, nearly able to make a pass, but he just about very aggressively cuts across us there. So Raikkonen, no love lost for the Ferrari car that's, well, was his and now is mine with Leclerc here in this season. So he cuts across us. We're going to have to try and make the move later on in the lap, but at least we're ahead of Hamilton. So in the grand scheme of things, we're probably still about net P2, I would say, as we now move on to the end of lap 9. And Raikkonen's fancying a move on Alexander Albon, so this is going to get very annoying for us maybe. Albon comes to the pits though, and Raikkonen slows himself up actually with that line he took. So he opened DRS. Can we get the move? That Alfa Romeo car is very quick in a straight line. That Mercedes is also coming through. Raikkonen's going to box me in into turn 1. We get a screen freeze as well. And so Hamilton sends one down the inside. That's pretty much just the game. I think I would have been able to defend that position if it wasn't for that screen freeze. But that screen freeze allowed Hamilton to shoot one to the inside. I really felt like I probably would have defended that. So now we're stuck behind him and in a sandwich with him and Verstappen. And Verstappen's looking very eager to make a move. And now I'm kind of a little bit offset there. You know, I wasn't expecting to be overtaken by Hamilton. I was expecting to make a move on Raikkonen, and off that corner, bad traction there, DRS open, but despite that, that Red Bull car is looking very good, and is looking like he's fancying a move at some point. We hit the wall also on the left-hand side, doesn't help us into the next chicane there. They're compromising my line in and out, and so Verstappen's got a brilliant exit. We're going to aggressively move to the inside to cut him off and defend the inside line, but he's gone to the outside anyway. We lock up on the front left, and it's a very tight corner. We make contact with his front wing. Surprised not to have any damage there, and Verstappen's going to squeeze out. We move to the left-hand side there to try and make a re-overtaking pass. Maybe we both have DRS, but we should have the straight line speed advantage on the Red Bull Honda, but oh my word. Verstappen, mate, you are really squeezing us very, very hard, and we have to let off there as he's got the inside line covered. So Verstappen with a really good defensive move there and very aggressively squeezing us to the wall works out. And so for now, lap 11, I'm down one more position. So at the moment, things aren't going my way. Things aren't going the Ferrari way, because look at the mini-map there. I think Vettel is 3-4 positions behind me, behind some other cars as well. So I don't know what's going on. The race pace just kind of disintegrated for the Ferrari cars here after stint 1, or into the end of stint 1, start of stint 2. But now we see Verstappen. He tried to make a move on Hamilton, didn't work out. That's going to allow us now to finally re-overtake him now. But you got a whole gaggle of cars. Hamilton, Raikkonen, you got Kvyat out of the Toro Rosso, the man we had a tussle with at Monaco, who nearly put me in a wall. But let's try and concentrate on Hamilton first of all. Is he going to make a move on Raikkonen? I think he might try. No, he's not going to, as Raikkonen's the one making moves, and he goes down the inside of Kvyat there. Very nice overtake there for Kimi, because it looked like he was meant to be defending against the Merc. Instead, he just goes for an overtake, so fair play. And so now it's going to be Kvyat the one we need to get past, and so he's going to hold up Hamilton quite a lot here, but I'm losing some pace in the dirty air as well, and still got Verstappen right behind me, causing me some issues with pressure. But we've got an engine failure for Kvyat ahead of us there. He's slowed down. Oh, God! Come on! Hamilton slowed down there, and we've lost a bit of our front wing end plate there on the left-hand side. Kvyat slows down with an engine failure, and that backs up Hamilton, causes him to brake check. Well, me, essentially. Not intentionally, I'm guessing, but still, very, very frustrating there. Had no time to react to get to the right or left of him, and we've broken a bit of our front wing now. It's an orange front wing as well. Not brick orange, but getting there. And so that's pretty damn poor. I'm going to have to think about this now. On lap 12... we can't really afford to make an extra pit stop straight away now. I'm going to have to try and limp around and see what I can do and see how the front wing is. If it's not too bad, I need to try and carry on. If it's too bad, then obviously I have to come in. But through that chicane, actually, I'm not too worried about that. Actually, that car took that chicane quite well, so we'll see about this. And helping me out is going to be the fact that Gasly is going to get on attack with Verstappen as well. Gasly defending to the inside there. That's Verstappen around the outside. And so those two Red Bulls fighting might just help my front wing situation. You can see there in the background, Vettel, my teammate, is even worse off in this race. He's 3 cars back. And so with a broken front wing, I'm still ahead of Vettel, so that's pretty good. And as you just see, narrowly, Giovinazzi there, I think that is going very slow, and the Red Bulls just about avoid him. But you've got a big train now forming with the 2 Red Bulls, the Haas and Vettel there. So we'll see how that goes. But that fight could definitely help me out with this situation, because if I can limp on to lap 20 and make my pit stop then, that would be way more ideal, to be honest. But as you can clearly see there, with the amount of understeer I got in and out of that chicane there on that 14, Gasly's going to come a knocking there. We try and squeeze him to the inside, but he's still there. Have to give him the room, and he goes very wide on the exit to get the elbows out. We're down to P9 now, and so maybe this is it. Maybe I tried my best to limp on for 2 laps, but maybe I just can't do it. I mean, we've got straight line speed. In straight line, our car's still going to be good. The front wing won't matter for there, so we can try and re-overtake Gasly, but Verstappen is also getting in the mix. It's going to be nearly 3 wide, and we lock up so badly because of the lack of downforce on the front. We go very deep into that chicane and force the 2 Red Bulls to go side by side and hold each other up. But there we go again on lap 15, the same place, same chicane, same exit into the hairpin now, losing some pace because of that left-hand side of my broken front. And Verstappen is on the outside again, going to try and squeeze us to the grass. We're going to not let him do that, get the elbows out a little bit, but we have no DRS now. We have overtake mode on ERS. We don't even have too much fuel to use. But Gasly now goes to the right-hand side. Verstappen somewhere on the left. I go nice and easy into the chicane this time. And even then, I'm unable to take it very quickly. And so Verstappen's got me. And now Vettel was right there. At this point, I thought, you know what? I need to let Vettel through. There's no point holding up Vettel, because he's going to have better pace than me, clearly. And if he can try and get the Red Bulls, then that'll be better than me holding him up with a broken front ring. So just let off there on purpose. Let him through. We'll see how this goes then and see if Vettel can get past. As we get on to lap 16, that might not actually be the case. They have got away from me. As you can see now, I'm kind of looking behind me at Magnussen, but into the chicane you can see they're fighting so much there. They've slowed each other down so much that I'm right back on the tail of Vettel now instantly in that chicane, because those 3 are fighting so hard. And so we're kind of making a 5-way train, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Ferraris, and then 1 Haas of Magnussen. You can see having a look on the outside of Vettel, even with this understeer in the car, they can just plainly see is there every time we're having a right-hander pretty much. And so we move on to the end of lap 17, onto lap 18, and again, these 2 Red Bulls cars are fighting so much they hold up Vettel even more, and we just about wrestle our car through on the exit to narrowly miss the wall of champions. Vettel tries to go for a move, but he now gets blocked off by the Red Bulls, and we just narrowly miss again for the second time this race. Deja vu plays out there at the apex of turn 1, double lock up, and just narrowly miss hitting Vettel on his side again, because Vettel tried to make a move on the left. Seemed like he got kind of flustered and kind of, you know, second guessed the move pretty much, and had to back out that with, I think that was Verstappen defending there. And so as I tried to make the move, I just didn't have the downforce to make that jimmy to the left-hand side into turn 1. I don't even know why I tried it, because I just was never going to have the grip there, but I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can here. We're on lap 18, though, to be fair. We're doing a great job at just about limping home. And again, Vettel gets held up massively, and this time we can make a move. We've just overtaken our teammate with a broken front wing, as the Red Bulls hold each other up so much, they hold up Vettel as well. Vettel sends one back down the inside, but we're literally still racing hard with this broken wing. We're doing a really great job limping through to lap 20. That's all we need to get to. 2 more laps. We make a pit stop. We can get to the end of this Grand Prix, and we don't need to actually make an extra pit stop, basically. So we're doing an okay job. And to be fair, Vettel has no issues with his car, and this is where he is in the race. So I feel like our car just didn't have too much race pace in the end anyway. So I was hoping I could maybe challenge the Mercedes cars, but maybe this is just where our car was always going to be. And so I'm just doing a decent job to keep it through as we go 3 wide now with Gasly and Vettel. We both Ferrari cars trying to make a move on the Frenchman. There's been some contact there between Gasly and Vettel. I think some carbon fibre came off for Gasly's car, and so he might have some damage there, but we both overtake him on either side of him there. Really aggressive squeeze for the Ferrari pinch, if you will, and we're up into now what is going to be P6 and P5 on lap number 19. Like I said, just about 2 more laps to go, and I can probably come in, but you can see the understeer now with the tyre wear as well kicking in, and Gasly now comes back at us there. We are just holding on for dear life here. Down the inside, lock up on the front right. We just about managed to keep it ahead. We're just driving for our life, and it's not even going to be for a great position. It's going to be for maximum P6, it would seem like, here in this Grand Prix. But we move on now. Lap 20, going to say, finally, box in this lap. So after so many laps of having that understeer pretty much and hitting walls, and just trying to just survive the Canadian Grand Prix, we're going to finally come in for a front wing change. I've made sure on the bottom right on the heads-up display to say, yes, I want the front wing change. I've not made the mistake of going on auto, because sometimes if you say auto to your pit crew, they just look at the front wing, they're like, nah, mate, that wing looks fine to me. You're not going to change it. So I've made sure it says yes to the front wing change. We're going to come in for another set of ultras and go to the end of this Grand Prix, and then it's going to be a recovery drive, because remember, it's going to be a lot of time lost in this pit lane for the front wing. The front wing's going to add a good few seconds on. So although we were ahead of Gasly, he's already pit right now for an undercut strategy onto, I believe, the super soft tyres. So I don't know why the Red Bulls don't think they have the tyre wear for it, but he's gone to super soft, and you can see just about there how much time I've lost on the pit lane time, on the pit stop time, and Gasly's back past us. So we're going to be down in the lower points paying positions and hoping to recover back up into P7, which is just not ideal, but what can I do? Obviously, from that incident now, many laps ago with Hamilton there, really frustrating, just bad timing, bad luck. And so now we're up into P12, eventually lap 22, having other people having made pit stops. We're outside the points right now. This is devastating, so we're going to have to recover into the points. I thought we were going to be at least P10, but no, we're not even in the points yet. We've got yellow flags behind us for some reason, or ahead of us, actually, my bad, for a Renault, I think that is. I think it looks on the minimap there, a Renault of Ricciardo, because Hulkenberg's right there behind us. And yeah, it's Ricciardo with an engine failure, and we set a purple fast lap for the Grand Prix in lap 23. So we're back here with some great pace. So just going to hope we can actually recover. And so as we go later on to this Grand Prix, a fight in a contact made there between Lance Stroll and Verstappen, that is. Verstappen spins round the Canadian at his home GP. He was so far up the order, actually, way up in the points. And so now that's one more free position there. So Verstappen is up into, I believe that would be P4 or 5. Actually, I'm not too sure of the running order, to be honest, because there have been a few cars that have made some conscious strategies there. But there is Vettel just ahead of Sergio Perez, I believe. But here we go. Here's the running order. So ahead of Verstappen is Raikkonen here, actually. He's chasing after Hamilton. So he's on super soft tyres. So again, Raikkonen, the man who won the Monaco Grand Prix last episode, right now, I think he's in a podium position here, you know. I think he's up in P3, or no, it's P4, my bad. So Haas is right now in P2. He's yet to make a pit stop, so very odd. So you've got Bottas P1, a Haas in P2, then Hamilton P3, Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo in P4, and then you've got Verstappen Verstappen, Vettel. Then you've got Perez, Gasly, who are just ahead of us. We caught up to them. Lap 25. 10 laps to go. Looking at the gap on the minimap, I'm not sure we can catch up to Vettel or Verstappen, but at least let's try and overtake these two cars and get this job done. Recover up into what would be a maximum P7, I think this would be, as we have DRS, but Gasly's in a much better exit. And again, we're just poor off that corner, and Gasly goes for a move on the outside of Perez. It's going to be a very bold lunge, and he's made it work. Fair play. And we just about skimmed to the inside there of Perez as he gets caught up and basically slows himself down with the way he was defending that position. He's come back at us to the inside of the hairpin. We're going to try and hang this on the outside like Verstappen's done many times to us this race, and we do so, and we're up into P8 now. And finally now with DRS, can we overtake Gasly? This should be a pretty easy overtake here. Look at the speed difference between the Ferrari and Honda. We have a fake to the left, go to the right, a little bit of a shake and bake, and we're up into P7. And as Vettel sets fast up the Grand Prix, I believe he's chasing down Verstappen, trying to get him. And for us, unfortunately though, that is going to be the end of our Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas is going to win this one there. So what did I say? Bottas is coming back into this championship fight by being a lot more consistent in the last 3 rounds here. And it's going to be, I think, a 1-2 for Mercedes. And I think it might be a surprise podium for Raikkonen. But we've recovered to P7 off that front wing breakage. It's just the most we could have done, really. We did well to limp through in that second stint and make the most of it, to be fair to us, I think.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
So there are your race results then, a 1-2 for Mercedes. Bottas, though, is the one that is on the top step, not Hamilton. And look at that, Kimi Raikkonen, what a stellar performance. He's had a mega 2 races, the win at Monaco and then a podium here at Canada. That man has really turned up the form there and doing bits for Alfa Romeo Racing. Vettel in P4 with a fast half of the Grand Prix, so he gets 1 point added to his 12 for 13 points there. So doing some work in the constructors, try and limit the damage there to Mercedes. But for us in P7, like I said, I think that's the best we could have hoped for, maybe, with the gap that was there to Verstappen and Grosjean and Vettel with the front wing damage. I think we did really well in that second stint, to be fair, to just be able to still be in the vicinity of Vettel and the 2 Red Bulls. So P7 for us, 6 points. Going to be a bit of a loss in the championship, but I think we should still be good, just about maybe to be ahead. Let's have a look here as we move on to the Drivers' Championship, and there we are. Oh, that is so close. 1 point in it again between myself as Leclerc and Hamilton in second place there. Vettel not too far off Hamilton, and you can see Bottas now is starting to creep up there. 83 points back from where he was down in 40 something before the Grand Prix. So he's done really well there. So this could slowly turn into a 4-way fight between both Mercs and us 2 Ferrari cars. We'll have to see if Bottas can keep that consistency going. Meanwhile, the 2 Red Bull cars just kind of still in the same position. Raikkonen leaps up all the way to P6 there with 48 points on the board now. Mega job for the Iceman there. He leapfrogs Verstappen, Magnussen, doing a great job there to be ahead of both of them. And it's all the same for Ricardo, Norris and Sergio Perez at the bottom end there. And it's all the same actually in the constructors. No one moves position in the constructors, just the points change a little bit, with Alfa Romeo being a lot closer to Haas now. They're only 5 points in it, so one more good race from Raikkonen and Alfa Romeo could overtake Haas for P4 in the championship there. And you can see Mercedes do close up a little bit to us at Ferrari in P1 there, so the constructors fight ultimately might get a little bit closer, but apart from that, no real major change in the order, just some points added on for each team that scored today. So guys, if you did enjoy that episode, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know your thought in the comments below. If you're on your own, subscribe for weekly Formula content. I've been aarava. Hope you today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.